Hello, I'm David Mitchell,
And I'm Robert Webb.
and this is a commentary on our show, The Mitchell and Webb Situation, which we made in 2001, 4 years ago. And these are the titles, which are supposed to show what a wacky time the two of us have in our dream flat in the city. Obviously, we don't live in a flat in the city. We're currently in Rob's flat on the Kilburn High Road, so if you hear any traffic noise, that's genuine traffic.
Very much not the city. And that went up my nose, but I'm such a trooper, I didn't moan or complain very much. Although there was a certain amount of moaning and complaining.
God, I've aged. Now, at the time we were filming this sketch, the premise of which is that farmers make a fucking fortune, the foot and mouth crisis was in full swing. So we actually thought we might get lynched for doing this, but fortunately the show was on Play UK, so no one saw it. So we didn't get lynched. I don't think any farmer had access to Play UK at the time. And it was the lack of that farming demographic that did for the channel in the end.
I think you watching at home on this DVD, you're probably, as we speak, doubling the audience that saw the show as it was originally transmitted.
Now, this sketch was inspired by the Hitchcock film Suspicion, in which a woman is suspicious that her husband, Cary Grant, might be trying to bump her off.
This is actually the only sketch where I'm not wearing any makeup. This is what I actually look like. And this is a good example of the fantastic camera work of Andy Hollis, who is our director of photography and who made this show look like a proper TV programme, even though it was made for sixpence.
It was incredibly cheaply made, and we only took 3 weeks to shoot it. But it looks very posh, we've always thought.
Yes. Now, this, on the day that we did all of these scenes, your face had gone mental, hadn't it? It had sort of inflamed and blown up slightly.
I had a bit of a rash from all the makeup, so they had to put a special thing on the camera to make me look less rashy. And I don't look particularly rashy, I look a little flushed. Yeah. Now, these were the linking scenes, which the executive producer insisted on, but we actually quite liked the way they came out. But the idea was the show had to have some sort of spine to it, so that people know who's leading them through it. In this case, two people who are inventing massive things in a trendy flat.
I think there should be more of this kind of comedy in British comedy, generally. People pouring stuff on their heads and munching.
People like mess.
Yes.
I think what's happened to my hair in this is spectacular.
Yes.
And a sign that perhaps I could play a major 80s ad executive in a new drama if there was one coming out.
I think so too. It's that sort of whole surprised blow-dried look.
This is one of my favourite sketches in the show,
I was about to say,
actually.
we've always been quite fond of these sketches.
It's basically inspired by the experience of people trying to explain simple things to each other in meetings and everyone pretending it's fine and going away and realising that it wasn't and everyone's an idiot.
You know where that farm was? Was it?
It was just, I think it was sort of Hertfordshire, near the M25.
Super.
It's owned by a lord who made a lot of money in computers.
Oh.
And apparently I think he'd lost his estate. The family had fallen on hard times, but he then regained the money by actually being clever at a job.
Well, that's a
while
happy ending.
Incidentally being a lord. And now he can't sit in the House of Lords, presumably, because he's a hereditary peer.
Oh.
So that's a nice reward, Mr. Blair.
Yeah, thanks, Mr.
Thanks,
Blair.
Mr. Blair.
Yeah.
This is the continuation of the sketch we like, that we're actually talking over. It's the trouble with DVD commentaries. In a way, we're talking over something that we want people to concentrate on.
Yes.
That took a while to make,
We're
albeit
not
only
saying
3 weeks.
very long, but
3 weeks as
some
opposed to
effort.
this literally takes as long as it takes to listen to.
yeah.
Um,
I think people know, David, that they can turn the commentary off if they
yeah.
start to
Well,
find
why
us
did they
boring
turn it
or
on
annoying.
if they didn't want to watch sketches?
Well, I don't know.
What's interesting is this episode is a lot of sort of serials of quickies all nested. You know what I mean? We've had this a few times, we've had the spoons a few times, we had the farmer a few times.
I think we have to slightly suspend our disbelief here
Yeah.
that I'm stupid enough not to be able to keep an eye on.
Yeah, on the page, the spinning of the table was just whirring round and round
Yeah.
at top speed.
But it wasn't actually a revolving table, it was just a table that's slightly unscrewed.
Yeah, that's the kind of budget restraint that we were working under.
Yes.
That's not even real milk.
No, that was...
We had to wank off.
That was made of... Well, it was... You were wanking off.
The whole crew had to jizz to make enough to look like just 2 simple glasses of milk.
That was a hell of a morning.
I won't say what he's drinking.
And the wife played by David Mitchell.
Thank you. See,
An
this
excellent
whole
performance, I
trend
think.
for men playing women in comedy was started by that.
Yeah. This is one of those sketches that we've got in the show from time to time that was originally written for another show, and they didn't want it, so we thought we'd do it in our show instead.
Yeah, this was written for Armstrong and Miller's Channel 4 show.
And we're glad they didn't want it, because I think it's good, even though, again, weirdly, I seem to be just chatting all over it.
Yeah. At the time we wrote this, a lot of places around London seemed to be being converted into... I suppose it was probably when the Tate Gallery was
Yeah,
first
it just opened.
being done. No, yeah, first opened.
Yeah.
We're thinking, where will it end? Industrial spaces turned into art galleries and restaurants and theatres.
Occasionally,
What has happened to our former industrial might?
yes.
That's what we're asking.
No, it's worth worrying about, and particularly now.
Yeah.
The end of that sketch was an example of David Kerr, the director, just letting the camera roll. I think the sketch actually ended officially about halfway through what we just saw, and then he just
Yes.
let me wander around talking nonsense.
we got some nice little endings out of that,
Yeah.
and we're bad at writing punchlines, so sometimes a bit of clanging into some metal looks like a good punchline.
Looks meant.
Yeah. It's a lot of this spoon stuff, actually. Perhaps nowadays we'd have cut it down.
It reminds me, not that it wasn't based on him, we're not particularly taking the piss out of him, but your character reminds me of Phil Clark, the producer of Peep Show. Just in the very, very amiable, explaining something kind of way.
See, what artistry skills
Yeah.
am I displaying there? Yes, no, Phil Clark's a very nice man, very clever man, but when someone's failing to understand something, he just gets
I
all
know what you
calm.
mean.
And
Yes.
he never says what he must be thinking, which is, you idiot. If anyone's tried to draw a spoon, it is actually quite difficult.
Yeah.
Again, drinking games lampooned. And this is a precursor to the government beginning to worry about binge drinking.
Yes.
We were contacted by
We precursed that
members
by
of-
some distance, really, didn't we?
Yes.
I mean-
yeah, it took a few years for it to sink in, the warnings we were sending out.
Yeah.
And here we were highlighting the issue of people trying to poison each other, which
Yes.
turns out isn't a very serious problem. Again, in this, what we wanted was it to be one of those huge, bits of sort of weird
Like the back of a
perspective.
coach.
Yeah, distorting glass, not just a tiny magnifying glass.
Oh, I nearly corpse, actually, in this bit. I think I do. Somebody nearly starts laughing. I can't remember if it's you or me. In a bit.
We'll see if either of that
Yeah.
actually looked like you did take a bite there.
No, it didn't.
I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying your fake biting was a bit better than your characters.
Oh.
I have to say, people badly pretending is funny. There we go.
There we go. That was pretty much the most fun we had on the whole.
Yeah, it was a good fun shoot in general.
It was.
Because nothing could take very long. So that's Gus Brown there in the orangey red shirt.
Improvising
very
a
funny
bit of
man.
chat. Most of the filming was done around the London bit of Bushy.
The London bit of Bushy.
Well, I'm using the word bit because I couldn't think of another more complicated word like district or borough.
Yes, that's what you mean. The London bit of Bushy.
Yes, right.
The royal bit.
Yes.
Yes, the London bit of Bushy actually has a place called the American University, where there used to be an American university, and before that there used to be a Masonic school. And it's used for loads of filming. There's a courtroom set there where they do a lot of Judge John Deed, and there's
a bit of a laboratory.
There's a place where there's a fake morgue, which is used a lot for silent prime suspect dead person type programs. And so it's a great location, except unfortunately there's a light aircraft base next to it. I'm having a bit of with that hair. I'm having a bit of a pop.
That was a bit of a pop there.
Bit
at
of
Lawrence
a pop
Llewellyn
at Lawrence Llewellyn
Bowen
thingy.
Yes, and the art department enjoyed doing this.
Make it look like there's excrement on the wall.
Yes.
In fact, it's chocolate.
Is it really chocolate?
They use chocolate.
Did they lick it off afterwards?
No, because
they were too busy helping with the wanking for the milk. I do.
One of the interesting things about the American University, actually, is that there's a chapel there, and the chapel scene in this series is shot there. And in the sort of vestibule of the chapel, the ante-chapel, if you will, there are lots of plaques commemorating the death of various boys at the Masonic school who were killed on the sports fields.
That actually doesn't sound very fascinating, but in reality it is.
That is fascinating. There's dozens of them. Dozens of children were killed playing rugby in the late 19th, early 20th century at that Masonic school, and it's a scandal.
Yes.
Or hilarious, if you've got a sort of more of a Molesworthy St Triniansy take on the world and consider that rather too much of a fuss is made out of child's lives nowadays. I'm not one of those people.
The reverential silence for the farmer sketches.
Well, these have a proper joke.
Susan Earle there, injecting herself, or rather pretending to inject herself with hard drugs.
I've always enjoyed the tiny little bit of Christmas decoration they've got up. That's even if you're smacked out of your head, you can be bothered to put up that much tinsel.
This heroine is so Moorish line also pops up in Peep Show.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Sam and Jesse stole it. I'm not saying that. I
assume they mean to credit that as additional material to us.
I suppose so.
Yeah. I think it's a perennially funny thing.
Oh, yeah.
To refer to something that's heavily addictive as just Moorish.
They did a good job of making you look like an absolute cock.
They've done a lot with my hair in this series.
Yeah,
actually.
no, they were
I'm
busy.
very pleased.
Do you think it would be all right to say that there's some of the not most convincing kicking someone to death coming up? Would it be all right?
I can't remember how convincing it was, but I'm braced for it to be not very convincing.
I've got a memory of how convincing it is.
Yeah. Is it Sue? Who's playing them?
That's Susan.
Susan again.
Yeah.
I like the voice I'm putting on. It sounds really fake.
Yeah.
I've long since given up trying to change my performances at all, one to another. Oh, the kicking. You can see. So apparently...
Well, they've put a little sound effect on there, so that's
bad
slightly more
punching
effective.
sound effect there.
Yeah.
It's a cheesy punching sound effect.
Well, we get the message.
You have to pay a lot of money to be allowed to kick the shit out of an actress these days.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have that kind of resources. But I don't know. I mean, an actress like Susan Earle would probably charge several thousand pounds to be beaten up.
Yeah.
No, they've all got a massive beaten up surcharge. Olivia Colman now, it costs £250,000 to beat her up.
Right.
So you could only really do that in a big movie.
Simon Lupton, the producer, taking a part in his own show.
Yeah.
This is at the American University we were talking about earlier.
This is some labs in which Masonic boys were once taught about copper sulfate before going to die with a rugby ball in their hands. Of course, there's nothing funny about AIDS.
Nothing funny about AIDS. One of the sicker sketches there. Now,
this is.
I have fond memories of this
sketch. I wonder how it turns out. We haven't, by the way, watched any of this for ages.
4 years.
He doesn't sound quite as posh as he might be for a vice chancellor, actually.
Yes, you sound considerably posher as the robber.
Yeah. I think we look quite cool.
Yeah.
I have a very Route 1
compared to how cool we normally
cool.
look. That is slightly cooler. This is fun because there isn't much action in most of our sketches, and so it's nice to have a bit of running around and shouting.
We're basically having a go at Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, which
it's
is very topical.
A vicious lampoon of that film, isn't it?
It was more topical at the time. Now, obviously,
it was still pretty old already at the time.
I think you're right. And that, what's his name? Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
His bubble's totally burst now.
Yeah.
So
there'd be no point taking a pop at him anymore because it's all over.
So in many ways, this has now become cruel.
Yeah. It's a tragic piece, really.
Yeah. And that's a pop at the City and Guilds qualification, which we're
having
implying
pops all over the place.
Isn't worth the paper it's written on.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We haven't really researched.
We're the last people to interpret our own work. We shouldn't be getting involved with that.
But it is true that if you go to a university, sneak into the degree ceremony and have the Latin said over you, at those universities where they still do it in Latin, you have got a degree. And the fact that you didn't do the exams doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. Well, that's just a little bit of fun there.
It's making it clear.
Who are we having a pop at there?
It's making it clear who we're having a pop at.
Who's this going to be?
I think we were having a slight pop at the fact that you get at Oxford and Cambridge, you get an MA without doing any work. So that sort of defines the worthless degree.
Good old shit joke.
It's
Excellent.
genuinely true that heroin stops you shitting.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely the only reason I've never tried it.
This was actually during my whole having an earring era, which I've stopped. Which you were sad about because that gave us a slight working class edge.
I keep saying, and I will keep saying, that when you had an earring, we were more commercial.
Right.
Because I was the posh one and you were the common one.
I just think you turn 30 and you can't be common anymore. That's not right.
You sound as posh as me now.
Well, yeah.
So we're the two posh ones, one of whom isn't really posh, and actually the other of whom
but at least
isn't really that posh either.
At least I've got a little hole where I used to have an earring, which, it's got to count for something. I mean, it's got to count for something.
If you get a tattoo, I'll shut up about it.
I
Not on your face. Just it sort of sneaks up so you can see it on your neck. And then I won't
What,
mind.
of like mother, or a big
I don't
picture
mind.
of a heart,
Picture of a pirate with a stiffy.
picture of a pirate with a stiffy.
That's nice.
Okay.
And
Well,
just
I'll see what I can.
The bell
I'll
end
see
of the
what-
stiffy can just poke up above your shirt collar.
I'll see what
and
I can
maybe
do.
it would jizz. Maybe it would jizz a bit.
Will you please stop talking about jizz?
Sorry. I
You're
shouldn't,
probably
shouldn't
changing
wank
the
while I
certificate
do
of
this, should
DVD.
I? I'm not a dirty man, really.
Very dirty.
I haven't got a
Knows you're
girlfriend.
dirty.
I can only think about it. It's interesting that those plants in the foreground look like sort of cactuses.
Oh, look, somebody's holding a pint of Guinness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play UK is a commercial channel, wasn't it? I mean, there were
It was part
adverts.
of the UK TV group, and there were adverts. So this is a 24-minute half hour made by the BBC. That's
Which is
it's an
weird.
anomaly. But I think the UK TV group is part owned by the commercial arm of the BBC.
Yeah,
I may be
there
wrong
it is.
about that.
Impassive wife.
Yeah. Very fond of this sketch, and indeed any opportunity to pretend I'm in the televised version of a George Smiley novel. Of course, people
Perhaps by the
still
time
used
you're in
film
your-
in cameras then, didn't they?
They did.
Although maybe we're saying this is the 70s.
It's a little
to be fair.
historical thing.
Yeah.
Perhaps by the time you're in your 60s, they'll want to remake Smiley's People. So
Don't think I haven't thought about it.
okay, good. And you might just sneak in there as the 12th Doctor Who as well.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I think they won't stop Doctor Who at just the 12 regenerations.
They'll find some
a
other way, won't
Look at
they?
the Master. He nicks bodies.
Exactly.
And you need to run it past the, people on Gallifrey. Sorry,
They can be sticklers.
we're not actually that obsessed with Doctor Who. Now, when we come to the arse pictures, is that actually your arse, Robert?
No, it's the arse of the designer Scott. I can't remember his second name. But that was... we'll probably find out by paying attention to the credits.
Yes.
We did lots of these tramp sketches, and they were
We really
quickies,
enjoyed doing
and they
them.
were
Yeah.
fun.
Tramps are funny, basically.
Yeah.
Obviously, it might
They
not be
haven't led
funny
very
being
funny
a tramp,
lives.
but it's funny for the rest of us to look at them
And
tramping
go,
around
"Ha,
the
ha,
place,
ha."
all pissed and desperate.
Thanks for listening.
I think we see the arses now.
Oh, we see the arses now.
Yeah, this is the because there's a
Because
tradition.
it would have been a
in
hell of an ending.
There's a tradition in comedy that you have the music not at the end, but just before the last sketch. It's
That's
something Monty Python started.
to happen.
Actually, it's a bad system. It's like the system in panel
Well, it
games.
fooled me, and now I feel an idiot.
Yeah, but it's also like in panel games. Ever since Whose Line Is It Anyway? The points are meaningless. Actually, you can escalate that, and then numbers become meaningless. And why are you there anyway? So I say we want to return to proper points in panel shows and
more
comedy
arses
programs
in
ending
comedies.
when they claim to end.
Oh, I've
What's this? Are we
misunderstood.
pretending this is part of the next program? No, we're not. We're not even pretending that.